are back in part 3. We're going to start adding some florals. Before I go further, I want to make sure that you are, number 1, subscribed to us. Number 2, if you're not already on our email list, I want to make sure that you are on our email list, newsletter. All those things will help you and I stay connected. So make sure you check that out. You can go to learnfrommelissa.com. That is where you can find a directory of all of our things. So do that right now. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you visit the learnfrommelissa.com afterwards to make sure you're on our newsletter email list and check out all the other things we have available for you. Here is our final, and I will say, I don't even want to put these in. I love this so much. I don't even want to put the extras in, but I said I was going to. And so we're gonna move forward with them. But I'm gonna start with another Hobby Lobby floral, and we'll just start putting it in. I'm gonna start close to the bow, so that just because I'm gonna start close to the bow. There we go. So I'm gonna start right over here. And when I took a break, I should have put in some more glue, and it looks like I didn't. And put right in there. Now again, I'm not sinking it down in, although some will be kind of a little bit further in, but I want it to meet the rest of that greenery that we're putting in for sure. Okay, now here I'm gonna put them in kind of in a going in the same direction motion, but as you can see, everything else, even though it is kind of going in the same direction, it still has its own little wild child going on also. And these don't have to be that long, I'm realizing. Okay, we'll put some in the inside, and I do have other smaller blooms that we might put in also. But I'm going to put in one layer first, and then we'll put in another layer. I do have plenty of these, so it doesn't matter how many I use, just as long as they are balanced. Just as long as they're balanced. Just as long as they don't become too close to each other, too far apart from each other, right? Some can go facing up, some's going to go facing out towards the edge. Some are a little bit bigger, some are a little bit smaller. Now that I have that kind of pattern there going with 2 on the inside and 1 kind of on the outside, I'll keep the distance and I'll keep going. I do like that the distance I'm putting in allows for those greens to really take up some space and do their work, right? Now, a lot of times I take the greenery off of these florals just because sometimes I really just don't like them. This wasn't bad. It was not great, but it wasn't bad. It fit the family, the color family, and also I wanted to make sure that any glue we're putting in can help us hide it. Okay, so that is what made my decision. What made me help keep my decision to keep those in. And that's going to end up going in the perfect spot because we need something right there for sure. Okay, I'll cut a couple more off here. That one has a small bloom, which so does that one over there. It has a little smaller bloom. love. Let me just put it in front of me to see. I'm going to put one right out here. So that's not such a big gap in between with nothing. Right, exactly right there. I love this whole design so much. Okay, let's just see here. Really nice. Okay, I'm going to come in with another kind of smaller. And I only have 3 sets of these. That's not great. I only have 3 sets of these. They're a little smaller bloom. These are what I, so remember I started this trio by saying this was part of, or a spin-off or continuation, I guess you could say, of, we did a wedding theme or I did a wedding theme. I did bouquets in one of the workshops that the coaches and I did. And I'm using the same, everything, really. I'm using the same florals, the same eucalyptus. I don't remember if I used this one or not. But anyway, I definitely want to put in these smaller blooms. Even this little teeny tiny one, I love that. And I think it's going to come off of there just perfect with the length. So we might move them in a little bit, but kind of peppering these in, the little smaller blooms throughout. Hopefully we have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we're going to be good. Okay. I think we're going to be good. Oh yeah. I love this garbage now. All right. So we'll put these in. I love this look. Love this look. Certainly don't want them to get lost. And it doesn't really matter where I'm starting because I kind of know where I have to go now, right? The spots have already been set in motion, right? I have to make sure I'm getting in between. Really, 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 really pretty. I'm going to use a longer stem over here. Just to make sure it comes out to meet us where we want it to. Hope y'all are enjoying this video. I hope you are subscribed. I hope you check us out on our Facebook page and are following us there. If you missed the first 2, that is because they were exclusive to the email list, folks. So if you are on the email list now, you can text us 810-498-2310 and we can verify your email address and send it out to you. But we do those things special just for our email folks. Every once in a while, I'm going to try really hard to do it more often. Put this one in here because it has that little bloom. Now with our florals in place, we can add other colored greeneries or other colored fillers if we need them. But truly, even at this point, you could stop. It's just a really pretty design, y'all. It's just a really pretty design. Gorgeous. If you haven't explored us sincerely here at Sincerely Creative Mom. Oh, we went all the way around already. Oh, we don't even need this third one. I don't think we do. Oh, that's good. All right. Okay. If you haven't explored us, definitely make sure you're checking out learnfrommelissa.com. Again, it has all of our social medias. Let's see what we're going to put in next. I was thinking maybe some white roses, but I don't know. Ooh, maybe. Definitely not going to use, yeah, let's do it. Definitely not going to use these. Definitely not going to use these. Number one, they are not attractive. Okay. Number two, they are not on color. The green around here is totally perfect, but the green on the leaves, not. Okay, so we're going to pull those down and we'll cut well, actually, hold on, because I don't have anything to counterbalance that. You see how I had the pink and then the small pink? I have the big white, but I don't have little. Let me see. I have a couple little, not, I only have 4. Ooh, let me see. 4, 5, 6. These were $1.50 a piece. You see how this kind of thing adds up a lot? This is like an off-white. That's like a bright white. And I think we could make it work. I think it would be okay. But I don't want to risk it, especially because these are, you know, individuals. They look real. Let's keep going with, well, I'm going to set these down. Let's keep going with, remember I said fillers. Let's see what these look like. So if you were on our email list and you got the bow video, I hope that is something you did actually check out. Oh yeah, this is going to be perfect. This is going to be perfect. I hope that's something you did check out. And those, it looks like I cut off individually. Let's see how I did those. So that's pretty long. If I cut that off, that's pretty long. This, don't want to lose that. Oh, that's these, I think. Oh yeah, that's those. Okay. So plenty of, and this could get in there and be a little bit, ooh, yes, a little bit of dimension. Adding a little bit of dimension. So if you've enjoyed this 3-part series, I know I haven't been here live for you to take your questions. However, if you are in our coaching group, that's what we do. Like, that's what it's all about. That's what we do. We are live. We are taking questions. We are helping. We are assisting. We are giving ideas. All this sort of thing is what we're doing in the coaching group. And lives. So we're live. We also have recordings, but we're live as well. Okay. All right, I do have this one too. Let's go ahead and get all of that. Let's go ahead and get all of that. There we go. And then we obviously we have a whole nother bush here should we need it. I'm going to set it aside for now. Okay. So we have a bunch of these that we're just going to pepper in. Now the stem here is pretty thick on the bottom. It's not thin. I mean, it's not crazy thick, but it's not thin. Again, making sure I don't sink it down in there too far. I do want to make sure it meets out with the rest of our greens. Some are going to be smaller, some are going to be larger. Been able to build this business. I started wreath making in 2015. I lost my big time corporate job in 2018. But then that allowed us not having a job, a 9-to-5 job, allowed my husband and I to have the time we needed to start fostering. We were foster parents for a while. And our 2 children came into our lives. And then we went through the adoption process. So my little wreath making business obviously has grown, and I have worked my booty boot off to make sure that happens. But it has literally allowed my husband and I to become parents. And that is in the most literal and absolute truth. And I'm not saying, in order to be a foster parent, you have to be a stay-at-home mom. That's not the case. I'm saying in my brain, in my world, in my life, in my, in my crazy brain, and I'm a workaholic, I don't know if I would have, if I had a job, if I had a 9-to-5 job, I don't know that I would have made it and thought I could do it as far as foster. If I had a 9-to-5 job, which is not how my brain works. It's not how. I was an accounting supervisor. It was pretty demanding. I worked 1,000,000 hours, way more than I probably should have. I remember my grandma when she was alive. One day I said, I'm really sad today. Crazy how that happens, because the universe works in mysterious ways. She died a couple days later, which is crazy. Anyway, I'm sad today. And her response was, I'm sad because you're still at work. Right? I was just like, well, I used to tell people all the time I would make these beautiful, great big giant diaper cakes for a baby shower. I would make these beautiful, took forever and ever, scrapbooks. And people used to tell me all the time, you missed your calling. You should do this for a living. You should sell these. And I would say, without hesitation, without looking into it, without learning more, without knowing. I would just say all the time, I would say, you can't make money selling crafts. I would say that. I didn't have a college degree. I felt like my job at that time, I had worked my way up so far, worked my booty boot off, right? And without a college education, I was making almost super, super close to six figures, which I should just say, because it would not be a far stretch. But that's crazy, right? No college education. That's crazy. And I'm not, believe it or not, I know my grandmother, if you follow me, you know, her and I used to own 3 ladies only fitness centers. In fact, some of you who actually watch used to be our members, which I love so much that y'all are still here with me one way or another. But I'll also say I'm not a risk taker. I know that sounds crazy, but I know me. I wouldn't have just quit my job to just be like, oh, now what I've said to myself for years and years and years is false and I'm just going to do it. Like the universe made me do it. Like it didn't give me a choice, right? I'm glad it happened that way. I'm glad I was forced. It didn't feel good at the beginning, but I'm glad I was forced. Look at that. Okay, we're going to keep going. I have these. Now, 2 of these leaves are different. The bottom ones are a no. The top ones are a yes. And honestly, I think all these came from Hobby Lobby. So far. Also, not all of them have those good leaves. Some of them won't have leaves, but we are greened up. We are greened up. We don't need the leaves. But if they do have them, the good ones, I'm going to keep them. Just for the simple fact that it'll help us with hiding the glue. But if they don't have them on there, it's not a big deal. I'm okay with that. Say all that to say, you know, if God gave you a talent, if you have a talent, whoever you believe in, don't let it go to waste. Don't let it go to waste. If someone is telling you, hey, you have a talent. Let me see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do a 7. That's a nice odd number. We can get those around here pretty good. And these are kind of crinkly. Maybe I won't leave them in. If God has given you a talent, you know, I'm just going to try to balance these first. Let's just see how these feel. Again. Nice little dry run there, right? Nice little dry run. So we got this just a little bit, I don't know, they Queen Anne's lace. Is that what they remind me of? I don't know if they are, if that's what they're called. I don't know. But that's what we're gonna say they are. It's fine. Anyway, if God gave you a talent that you were like, oh, I wish I could, I wish. Or if someone has said, hey, you should sell these, then explore that. And I don't care how many people are selling it. I don't care. Get your items on Etsy. I was going to say, get your little butt on Etsy. Get your items on Etsy and go for it. Like, what do you literally have to lose? Right? I stopped doing craft shows when we started fostering. We had kids in the house, and you know, I knew that they were going to be with us a short time and wanted to give them my full undivided attention and my full everything. And so this is before we were fostering. I'm sorry, before we adopted. And so I stopped doing craft shows for that reason. But if, you know, if you're not doing craft shows and you're thinking, oh, you know, there's too many people at a craft show, look for craft shows that would accommodate, or that would fit in for you. Like, do your homework. If you're unsure, listen. If you're in the creative coaching group, you've probably, maybe it was in different teaching, I can't remember, but you've seen my actual book that I kept a year before I started doing craft shows. I dragged my friend with me and made her go to all these different craft shows because I didn't know which ones I wanted to be in or needed to be in or whatever, or, you know, were good. And by good, I mean, like, you know, the people that were going there was good. The traffic was good. The vendors that were there were good, because that makes a difference too. If people know that the craft show doesn't have good vendors usually, then they don't go. They might go once, figure out, that's not for me, and then not go again, right? So I have an entire spiral notebook where I kept notes. I kept notes of what was like good spots to be in at the craft show. I kept notes, like all sorts of things, right? I taught classes, a lot of classes all over the place. If you're here in Michigan, I was at the Grosse Pointe Yacht Club. I was at Macarene Marina. I was at community centers. Like, I was all over hosting classes. I got a couple of groups of girls from those classes that ended up staying with me, and we did classes at their house. This is incredible. This is incredible. Let me look at all the couple of things we have left. The one thing, if you know me, if you follow me, you know that I use this Stilby a lot. And this one, the ones I usually use are from the At Home store. These are from Hobby Lobby, and they're much whiter. They're much whiter. I don't know if that's going to take away or add. Let me just make that decision. Hold on. Well, here's the thing. I do need them to be pretty long. I do need them to be pretty long because everything else is long. And if I cut these, it's going to be too short. Let me just test my theory. Although I do like the dimension idea, because it could get in there and give us some dimension a little bit. Maybe not a bad idea in the front and then longer in the back and the outside. Okay, let's try that. All right, so I'm going to try to look for spots that have, or that I could see open, or that I could see glue. One or the other. See open or see glue. And for this, I'm actually going to just stick them right in. I'm not even, well, some I might go in at an angle, but I'm not necessarily trying to go in at an angle on purpose, because I want them to just stick right up. Okay, and then let's check these out. That one I'll cut. That one I'll cut. That one I'll cut. These three are long. Let's see if that one I should say I could cut, because I don't necessarily have to. I'm going to focus on the inside for right now, just on the inside. So depending on when you're watching this, I am traveling this week for a workshop with all the coaches. We are working, believe it or not, even though this is the beginning of June, believe it or not, we're working on fall and Halloween designs. Now, we really did not need this. If you want me to be honest, as I'm looking, we did not need this. But it's one less thing I had to put away, so. If you watch the other 2 videos, you understand what that means. Anyway, if you're wondering more about the workshop, you can always go over to, I'm going to always say that, learnfrommelissa.com. That's where our directory for everything is. So anything I'm mentioning, or if you're watching me live, anything I ever mention, you can always go to learnfrommelissa.com, and whatever I'm talking about will be there, one place, one way or another. All right, now I'm going to come out to the outside. We may dive into that other bush. I'm going to come out to the outside and get us one final thing in here. One thing I didn't put in that I did pull, and y'all know, if you follow me, you know, I love magnolias. And I did pull magnolias to put in here. And I didn't put them in just because this is exactly why. I thought at this point we were going to be pretty full and not need them, and they would have ended up getting lost, and that would have been, I called that good. And so I'm glad I didn't put it in, but you could have, because I would have put them in the outside layer right around here, around this back. Oopsie. Also, if I ever get too much glue and it's like, uh-oh, there's globs of glue back here, you can always add moss to cover it up, right? You got a big mess going on, you're like, uh-oh, that doesn't look good. Just add some moss around it and hide that up. That's a pro tip for you. I do need that SKU number, so I'm going to try not to use that one, that last one. Okay. I have enjoyed our time together. I hope you were watching the whole entire thing. If you did, let me know in the comments and let me know what you think. If you learned something, if you enjoyed, let us know. This big piece is sticking right out. Hopefully we have enough to go around. Really, really love this. Nice, big, completely full. So adding in all these layers has definitely tamed the wild eucalyptus that we put in at first. Remember, it was real nice and thick, and it was, you know, coming up and all over the place. This has definitely tamed it. So it's not as wild, but it's still very pretty. And there's a lot of glue going on back here, so I probably definitely would, especially if I'm going to market this as a wedding wreath. You know, the last thing you want is for this great big beautiful wreath from the front, and then they look at it from the side and they're like, wow, it's a lot of glue there, right? You don't want that. And we had just enough. So in this case, I probably would go through and add some of that moss just to help make sure we were looking good. This is absolutely gorgeous. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're subscribed. Don't walk away, leave without making sure you're subscribed. Check out our learnfrommelissa.com where you can see all the things. Make sure you're following us on social media. If you are a wreath maker and you're watching, make sure you've joined our free group. It's called Powered by Creative Pancakes. You can see that link over in the learnfromalyssa.com as well. It's just a free group where you can, it's something where you can post. I am going to try real hard to get live in there more often now that I have a little bit of a schedule going on, which is always good. I love this so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for watching. If you've commented or asked a question or text me and asked anything, that's, by the way, the best way to get an answer if you want something specific, is texting me. Again, you can find that over at learnfromalyssa.com. I enjoy teaching. I am obsessed. I love it so much. If you are watching the first week of June in 2025, I hope you did join us for the coaching workshop. You can still join. You can join at any time. Again, you can find the link over at learnfromalyssa.com. I can't wait to take pictures of this. Let me zoom this out. Don't mind my mess there. I can't wait to take pictures of this. This is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you. And I said this before, thank you will never be enough for what you've allowed me and my family to be able to do and explore and become and grow and all those things. If you have a talent, chase it. Don't give up. Okay? I love you and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.